Heaven's California.
Hey yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video, and today it is Sunday, which means there is no Ultimate Team Road to Glory, and we should have a career mode that'll either be up before or after this one, probably before this one. It's currently 20 to 1 in the afternoon, so the career mode should be out around 3:30ish, so if you haven't seen that and you are looking for FIFA content, then go and check that out. If you're here for the Q&A, sit back, enjoy. We got some questions. Didn't post out on anything else apart from Snapchat. One of the perks on following me on Snapchat, my link to that is in the description down below, my username, sorry. If you'd like to follow me, then go ahead and follow me. You can get up and see what I'm up to. You know, sometimes I'll post some stuff about FIFA on there. Generally stay pretty inactive unless I have a video that I want to shout out or plug or anything. Like this Q&A. But just before we get into the questions, I'd like to thank everyone from Snapchat who did leave a question. Good thing about following me on Snapchat for Q&As is you can ask the question absolutely anonymously. So you can literally spread whatever shit you want about me, and I will never know who it is, but as I say, I will answer all questions honestly and as truthfully as I can. So let's get into the questions. Question number 1 says, do you think a year's plus unemployment is worth the effort you put into, or is worth the effort put into your YouTube, which averages 15 views at best? Minimum wage accumulates to $15,269 per year for medium working hours, by the way. Okay. I'm gonna sit here and tell you this now. I didn't leave school thinking I'm going to leave school, go ahead and sit at home for a year plus and then start looking for jobs just to see what YouTube did for me. That wasn't in the plan at all. It was just unfortunate for me. You know, I left school under the apprehension of, hell yeah, I'm going to get an IT apprenticeship and things are going to be good. The first company I deal with aren't good, and you know, that went down the shitter. And then I waited another couple of months, and then, you know, I did have interviews at several places. Some places that you hear back from, others that you don't hear back from. And I'm not going to sit here and name names, because that wouldn't be right for me to do. But then I get hooked up with another company who take, what, a good 3 months to get back to me properly. And then by the time they do get me, it's kind of like, yeah, just do whatever. And I was like, you know what, I don't want that either, because this isn't really what I want to do. And then I wait another couple of months and I go ahead and I apply for some more jobs and more companies that, yet again, didn't really come back to me at all. And now I have had a company that came back to me in the same day, which is about 5 minutes down the road from where I live, and in 2 weeks, Monday, I do start there. So don't, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know what, I piled all my effort into YouTube, which I didn't. Because, you know, if I did, I would have been pumping out 3 or 4 videos a day. All YouTube was there for me for was to make sure that I did have something to do in the day. And actually, you know, it's better than sitting there, going to an interview and saying, I did this in the day to give myself a routine, rather than I just sat there and just kind of did nothing. You know, so I'm not going to sit here and say I put all my effort into searching for a job. I'm not going to sit here and say I put all my effort into searching for or doing YouTube. But, you know, would I say my career aspiration is in YouTube? No. If it happened, then it happened. You know, that's something I'd have to think about later down the line. But, you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's a fresh start for me. It's a job that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, nerve-wracking, but so is a lot of things in life. And once you get in there and settle in, and they're actually there to support you and make sure that you have the help that you need, you will get on just fine. And it's that thing, and, you know, I will say with a lot of apprenticeship, well, the 2 places that I dealt with weren't doing that exactly. It was more of a, we can't, you know, we don't really want to do that, just sit there and watch, rather than here's the support that you need. So I'm not going to sit there and go into huge details about it. stuff I talk about work, I will keep separate from the whole video stuff. Yes, there may not be a video every day, but I will try my best to get a video out every day. Whether that be good or not, I don't know, you know. But yeah, that's enough of that. I knew there'd be a question that came up about it. It's always the same person probably that sits there and does it, but you know, shout out to that person, and that's the answer for you. Hopefully you'll be very pleased to hear that I do have some employment now. But anyway, so the next questions, I do this from most recent to oldest. So if you submitted your question the first day, ask the questions on Snapchat, you'll also be at the end. Aren't people like you encouraging EA to add hardly anything into FIFA by buying the game each year no matter what? I wouldn't say so. You know, developing a game costs money, and EA, you know, different people would say they added different things. In terms of career mode and, you know, a game mode that I will sit here and say, yes, they have neglected career mode by adding basically no features in it apart from Champions League football and Europa League football licensing. Games like, or game modes like, what is it? Pro Clubs, they haven't really added anything to that either. But, you know, if you sit there and just say, if that's the approach you're going to take, you're going to sit there and say, you know what, they're not adding anything to the game modes I don't play or I play, I'm not going to buy the game. If everyone did that, then how can you expect them to add anything to the next game when you're not buying them? When you have a games developer, when you purchase a game or purchase an add-on, you are helping that developer in hope that developer uses the money and does that. The thing is with FIFA, right, they have to have a lot of the chunk of money from their game each year will have to go on licensing. Look at PES, for example. PES's game has good features to it, but they have licensing to maybe a handful of teams. Whereas EA has licensing to nearly every league in the world. You know, there's a couple of leagues now that PES have the rights for, but EA have the rights for a lot of leagues in the game. And to be honest, last year they added a big feature, which was squad battles. This year they've added a big feature, which is changes to Weekend League, which is, you know, changes to online seasons, which is now Division Rivals. Yes, they might not have added features that you particularly want, but how much do you want them to add? You know, they say they haven't added much content, and, you know, us video developers or video creators for FIFA, you know, encouraging EA saying, look, we're just going to buy the game regardless. Well, yes, I would buy the game regardless if the game was the same next year, because I'm having fun on FIFA. It gives you a purpose to play. Whatever you say, you know, EA can sit there and say, you know, you might sit there and say, well, they're neglecting career mode, they're neglecting pro clubs. Not enough people play career mode or play pro clubs for them to be able, you know, what aspects of career mode do you want them to put into the game? You know, career mode is what it is, and it has been that for a long time. If you want, you know, their argument would be, if you want an in-depth look at running a club, then you'd go and play Football Manager. You wouldn't go ahead play FIFA, which the main thing with FIFA is playing the game and not necessarily too much of running the club. And Ultimate Team this year has been good. You know, you could say, you know, they're putting in swap deals every month now, so you're going to get that array of players that you'll be able to get from playing the game. We have had a lot of SBCs put into the game and a lot of new content there, you know, the Champions League cards. But then you can say, I would counteract you and say, the more content they put into Ultimate Team, the more money they're going to get from everyone buying packs. So it is very much that, you know, finding that balance for EA, the support from the developers this year, and the information they're giving us, and the changes to Ultimate Team, which is the predominant game mode. You know, Ultimate Team, no matter how much you like it or not, whether how much you're a hardcore FIFA player and maybe you pay 10 plus hours a day when you come back from school, but all you play is career mode, then they're not really interested in you. They're interested in the people buying the game on Ultimate Team, buying the packs, you know, using the market, using the new features. And sure, content creators maybe sway that a little bit with, you know, telling people to, or making pack openings and stuff, and encouraging people to buy packs. But I don't think EA would sit there and say that. I wouldn't sit here and say that, that's really our problem. EA are the game developer, and we have to play what they give us. Otherwise you'd still be sat and playing FIFA 14, which doesn't have online servers anymore, and has nobody playing the game either. So, if you're just there to play career mode, then maybe not buy the new game. But, I think they've done a pretty good job with FIFA 19 at the moment. And I'm not going to sit there and slate them. Another question then, do you think it was right for the UK to vote Brexit? This is again, a question that I think it was probably asked before and I just ignored it, because I'm not going to sit here and say whether I'm pro or against, Brexit. It's a very controversial topic, and, I wasn't old enough to have the vote when the Brexit vote was there, and I'm not going to tell you what way I would vote or what way I wouldn't vote and why, because, again, my political thoughts and opinions don't really need to be shared here. Brexit is happening whether we like it or not. The UK did vote, and now we have to face the consequences. Maybe some people would vote differently. If they made another vote, maybe we'd vote differently, maybe we wouldn't. Maybe it'd be more for Brexit, maybe it'd be more against Brexit. We don't know, but we had the vote, and now we've got to deal with that as a country. But on to the next one then. It says, do you think there are more than two genders? Another controversial topic. Biologically, probably not. With the human anatomy speaking, you are born in a male body or a female body. Whether you choose to then think, actually, I don't really feel like, there's all sorts of different reasons and all sorts of different things why people, go transgender, or people, like to cross-dress, or people want to have that gender change or that sex change. And there's many reasons for that. And, I'm never going to sit there and criticise someone for that, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion and everyone's entitled to their own choices in life, and we have to respect that. We might not agree with it. I'm not saying whether I agree or don't agree with it, but I respect that people make that decision. And, to sit there and make weird faces at them and, slate them, saying, well, you're born a boy, so you have to stay a boy. It's 2018, there's a load of random decisions that happen, and people have a load of different opinions, and we know the internet and the world is a very touchy place, so you might not have to sit there and agree or disagree with someone's opinion or what their choice in life is doing, but you have to respect that opinion. And I have a really... there we go. You have to respect that, and, maybe it's not the best choice to sit there on your Twitter feed and go, oh, this person said this, I'm going to actually reply and start an argument with them. You might not agree with what they've said, but you have to respect what they've said, because that's part of that mutual respect, human to human. Yes, you might not think they're alike, you might not think alike with a lot of people, but you have to respect their opinions, and that's basically how I feel about that. Someone says, what's the entertainment... Oh, this one really did make me laugh. What's the entertainment value in watching someone open bronze packs for 10 to 20 minutes? And this is be regarding yesterday's video, which was titled Bronze Pack Method. Is it as good as it sounds? And, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for actually sticking around to the end of the episode, because I don't expect many people to do that. If I look at the amount of views, the amount of watch time, basically indicates to about 3 minutes in, people click off the video. Which is, I don't really care. If you want to click off. But maybe it was a little bit cheeky of me to just sit there and open bronze packs for 10 to 20 minutes. But in terms of the answer to your question, probably the same entertainment value of that question, which is probably nothing. But yeah, it won't be happening again. Sometimes, in the road to glory, there are tedious things that you have to sit there and talk about and grind. And, it was part of proving a point of, there are bronze players that are worth more than others. For example, today, I packed a Lincoln player. He was worth 5,500 coins because he's part of one of the Scream SBCs. Now, imagine if I'd have sat there and opened bronze packs from day one, stocked my transfer list every day, every morning, and relist them, you know, for a certain amount of times. And away ho, you've made yourself some decent profit. But yeah, it probably wasn't the best for me to sit there and record 10 to 20 minutes of me opening bronze packs. But it's one of those things, and I can't really do much to avoid it. It's a good thing, you know, bronze pack method. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then it was in yesterday's video. You probably don't want to have to sit down and watch me talk about that, but that was basically that one there. Someone said, "Do you want these are now with the good ones? Do you want to travel in the future? If so, which places would you want to see?" I do want to travel in the future. As a child, I've never really been taking anywhere. I was never really taken anywhere apart from this country, for probably the main reason my dad doesn't like foreign countries, and he doesn't really like flying either. But you know, I would say that yes, I do want to go. I wouldn't say, you know, what is under the table, man? There's something. It's a wire. Oh my goodness. This kept touching my leg under the desk, and I thought it was a spider or something. But yes, I would like to travel. There's a couple of places, you know, most of the European places, you know, Germany, I'd like to see around there. Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, I'd like to go over to the States. I'd like to go over to maybe a country in South America, somewhere like Argentina or Brazil, to see what that's like. I'd like to go to Australia, New Zealand, possibly, you know, even Japan, just for a bit of a change of culture. You know, there's other, you know, Eastern European countries as well that are quite nice. You know, I probably won't get to see over half of them places, but I would hope to see at least a couple of places overseas. You know, there's still places in this country that I haven't seen that I would like to go and visit as well. You know, I'd say the only real city that I have been into that isn't London, well, I haven't really been to London that much. I've been there briefly. But I've been up to Manchester, of course, to see Old Trafford, but that isn't really in Greater Manchester either. You know, my travelling experience hasn't really been a lot because, you know, as children, a lot of kids are taken away to foreign countries for the family holiday, but, you know, we don't have that over here. You know, we tend to keep it very much in this country. Someone said, "What is your dream career?" Now, this again, you'd probably be sitting here expecting me to say, "Oh, YouTube is my dream career," or "Twitch streaming is my dream career." You can't really say they're your dream careers because it's all about luck, you know, especially YouTube, not so much Twitch, but, you know, well, both of them really. To be a streamer or a content creator on YouTube, it's about consistency, it's about luck. Do people take to your videos? You know, I've been doing it for what, a year and a bit now, coming up to 2 soon, in a couple of months. And it's grown a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's my dream career. You know, I would love to be somewhere, you know, down the line in digital marketing. It's a place, or it's an area for me which I've always been very interested in, and I've had a look at some, you know, I've applied for some digital marketing jobs or apprenticeships and never really heard much back from them. But, you know, I'm hoping with the experience I'll get from this job, maybe, you know, you don't have to, you know, once you get a job, it's not one of them things that, say you get a job in, I don't know, Tesco, and you're sitting there and you're thinking after a few months, or, you know, you're there for a year, 2, 3 years, and you're thinking, I'm still doing the same thing I was doing, you know, when I started, back when I was, you know, finished school, or even while I was during school. And, you know, I'm still doing the same thing that I was doing, and they haven't had any talks of progression. There is nothing stopping you going on to another place. You know, you don't have to be stuck in the same job if you think it's a dead end. You know, if you want to make that step up from retail, there are places where you can make that step up from retail, and it is normally in an office, you know, or working in a company that, you know, works within the office or around an office. And whether that's answering phones, whether that's starting filing and stuff, it's kind of that next step up. You know, you're not going to go from working retail for 5 years and then you're going to be able to apply for a managerial job at a company which is like 40, 50k a year. I mean, you could do, but I don't think it'll be as easy as that. But yeah, I'd love to be working somewhere within digital marketing. I think it's an area that I'd really be interested in. But at the moment, I'm just really looking to get some more experience on the board, and maybe, this place, when they said in the interview, company progression is here, if you so want it. They have the front office, they have the back office. You start in the front office. 70% of their back office are people that have moved from the front office to a higher, position that isn't so, it's not really menial, but isn't where the bottom of the pile is. So, we'll see what the future holds. But again, right now, I'd say my dream job, my dream career path would be somewhere in digital marketing. But let's pull up the next question then. Someone said, how do we tackle the obesity crisis? It came through 2 times. The obesity crisis is very alarming, especially in younger children. It is something that, schools have to take responsibility for, parents have to take responsibility for, and the child themselves have to take responsibility for. If you're looking at yourself and you're sitting there and you're thinking, I'm looking a little bigger today, let's, try and get some weight off, do something about it. It's not going to sit there and just fall away overnight. And I think parents have to do something, especially children with obesity creeping into children in such a young age now. It's, it's more the feeling of, is the parent to blame? Are the parents cooking the child a healthy meal not a healthy meal, but are they feeding their child a balanced diet? Do they have a nutritional meal for dinner every day? Or is it just, here's some chicken nuggets and here's some fried chips? You feed your child that every day, they're not going to be good. Is it, you walk to your primary school as a child, or your secondary school, it's maybe a half an hour walk, and instead you choose to drive your child because it's easier, and you don't want to get up half an hour earlier, or that 20 minutes earlier to walk them. During my primary school years, I always walked to school, and during my secondary school, it wasn't possible for me to walk to school because it was an hour's walk, and that's a little bit, pushing the boundaries of an hour's walk to school, especially when half of the road, or the half of the journey, is on a road that doesn't have any public footpath on it. So, the obesity crisis is should be alarming for parents and schools and stuff, and, we have to make sure as a country and the world that children, especially at a young age, are getting the exercise they need. Don't let them sit on the Xbox all the time. When they come home from school, let them do their own and boot them outside for a bit. It's also part of the parents. They might be super stressed from work, but go out at the weekends, take your kids to the park. Don't just sit there and go, let's have a lazy one. Yes, it might cost you a little bit of money to take your kids out, but I think people are getting a little bit too lazy, just thinking, let's just fuck it and let's just sit in and watch a movie. Do something with your children, keep them active, and also going into an adulthood, you don't have to sign up to a gym to stay healthy, eating a healthy diet, and, you can work out from home, you can work out from home, if you want to. In the long run, I would probably say, you might sit there and think, okay, I've got room in my room or in my garage, I'm going to get a treadmill, for example. So, we're going to go to treadmill. Let's just go to somewhere like Argos, for example. A treadmill is going to cost you what? It can cost you anything from £300 to maybe £600. And, a gym membership could be anything from £30, £40 a month, from like £20 to £40 a month, I'd say. In a couple of years' time, you'd have easily paid that up for a gym, and it doesn't cost much to get some weights in your home. I have weights, I do them a couple of times a week. And I'm not saying that I am maybe not full fitness, I'm not a fitness guru, but I'm comfortable in the size I am. And yeah, maybe I'm not to my exact weight, target that a doctor would sit there and say, but not many people are, you know, and it's finding that balance between being happy and being healthy. You know, you can be the healthiest person alive and you come home and, you know, you have your dinner, or teenage girls, you know, you see the stories, they come home, have their dinner, and they make themselves throw up every night, and that's how they keep the weight off. You know, they might be underweight, and they might go to the doctor, and the doctor says, fantastic, you're in the desired weight we want you to be, but is that person happy? Probably not. You know, their throat probably always tastes of acidic sick. So, you know, that's kind of my opinions on that. Someone says, Jose in or out? Another really juicy question. Jose in or out? I don't think it's a problem with the manager. You know, as I've said before, I'll say it again. It's not a problem with the manager. You know, yesterday's showing against Chelsea showed that we can still compete. And we probably shouldn't have conceded. We were very unlucky to concede that late goal. I wasn't in to watch the game. You know, I was out. So I only caught 5 minutes from the first half, then we had to go. But, you know, we can still compete. And it is about, you know, mentality and stuff. And, you know, I don't think if we got another manager in, he'd do any better. You know, he might not do any worse, but I don't think he'd do any better. Because at the end of the day, if the board aren't going to back a manager the stature of Jose Mourinho, yes, they might get a new manager in, and they might appoint another manager, and have 3 failed managers. Which, you know, when you have 3 failed managers in the space of a couple of years, but you have to blame the board for that. You know, because the board have appointed them, and if they've appointed the wrong manager, then that's kind of down to them. But, you know, I think it's a bit of everything. The players maybe not giving 100%. You know, maybe some of them aren't so happy with the manager. The manager maybe not giving 100%. He's not happy with the board. And the board maybe not giving 100% because they're not seeing the results from the manager. And they're getting pissed at the manager. And you just have this whole big cycle that always ends up with the board not being good and the board not backing the manager. Yes, we didn't spend an immense amount of money. Yes, the manager straight up said he wanted a centre-half. He also wanted a right-hand-sided player because we don't really have one. We sold them to Arsenal. We brought in another, we exchanged it with Arsenal for Alexis Sanchez, who, yet again, is another left-hand-sided player, where we already had 2 left-hand-sided players. We're now stuck with Juan Mata, who's supposedly a right-hand-sided player, but I don't really want to see him playing on the right-hand side. So for me, it's Jose in. There isn't another manager out there for me that would do a better job. You know, there might be, you know, there's a couple of managers out there who maybe would do as good a job and might, you know, things might look good for another year or 2. You know, if Jose goes at the end of the season, we get a new manager in, you know, things look good for another season or 2, like they did under Jose. You know, year 1 under Jose was pretty good. Year 2, it was kind of dropping off a little. And it'll probably be that again. But I don't think it's all the manager's fault. You know, I think it's a mixture of all 3 things. But again, I'm not the manager and I can't really control anything at the club. Someone said opinions on WWE last night. This was 4 days ago, so I'm guessing they mean SmackDown 1000th episode. I'll keep it brief. It was nice. You know, they had Evolution back, and, you know, 3 of my favourite wrestlers, really. Randy Orton, Triple H, Batista. Always was a big fan of Batista back in the day. And I thought it was a little bit corny, but, you know, get to see Edge back, and, you know, it was a little corny, but WWE is corny nowadays. You know, it's not as good as it was when I started watching it, started following it, which was around 2006, 7-ish. You know, so yeah, it was alright. It was alright, definitely. Thoughts on FIFA 19? Basically covered it before, but FIFA 19, good feat. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, okay? I'm not including career mode. I'm not including pro clubs. I'm not a huge career mode player, other than a couple of times a week I record for the channel, obviously. Not a huge pro clubs player, don't play it, maybe touched it once last year. In terms of FIFA 19 that I've played, which is mostly Ultimate Team, the features have been fantastic. You know, getting that grind on again has been fantastic. The gameplay does let it down a little bit. There are things in the gameplay, especially 50-50 tackles, making solid tackles as a, not being able to control you, or having a better chance of defending when you're not controlling your defenders compared to when you are. The speed that players, respond to your input in the controller, attacking, servers crashing and servers being laggy. They've caused me some games this weekend league. There's a different array of things that are wrong with the game, but they're definitely in the right direction. And I think with the right patches and the right, things changed with the game, I think it'll be a pretty good game. But, I'm happy with the content so far. I'm happy with what they've got. Yes, they've ruined Ultimate Scream a little bit with what they've put in, but it's different. It's not the same as the year before. People have been moaning the year before, oh, it's the same promo again. But yeah, really, I think it's a decent game. We've got decent support from developers now. We're getting word out from developers. They're being a lot more vocal. Corey and Zorro and other guys as well. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good game. We got the whole new grinding aspect of Division Rivals and FUT Champs. Yes, there maybe isn't that relaxed. We could have done with online seasons for people who just want to play online, who just want to chill and slap on some music and have their girlfriend sucking them off or something, I don't know. But, yeah, it's a pretty good game with a few tweaks. You can tell when something's a good game, even when you lose, you have fun. And, there'll be some people who are just like, oh, I just can't do that. I'm losing, I'm fucking pissed. But, no. There are a few times where I have to slam the desk. You've seen it on camera, but, it's for the greater cause, okay? It's for the greater cause. On to the next one then. Favourite place to shop? Don't really do much shopping, to be honest. Favourite place to shop? I mean, do you mean like if I go out to a high street, where do I normally end up going? I don't tend to go out to the high street and buy something, unless it's clothes. If it's clothes, then I'll go out and I'll buy them, in the shop, because I like to see what would fit, what wouldn't. But, I end up doing most of my shopping online just because it's easier, it's more convenient, than having to go to the shop and do all that. And yes, you might think, that's just fucking lazy, you lazy prick. Well, tell that to the rest of the people of the world that use the fucking site of Amazon. Amazon is a bloody great place to buy things. But you know what, I won't include Amazon because it's online and that's rubbish. Honestly, whenever I'm in town, there's two shops I'll always stop by at. I'll always stop by at CEX to see if there's any bargains in there. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. And I'll always stop in a game just to see what new stuff they've got floating about. But in terms of clothes, I don't know. I don't really do expensive clothes brands, I'm wearing what I'm wearing. Why does it matter where I bought it? It's better than not having any clothes on. But there is a shop where, I always used to go in Blue Ink, every year. I don't even know if it's still in town. Is it still in town? I think it might have gone, to be fair. I can't remember seeing it for a while anyway. But I always liked their clothes there. I had some good quality clothes from there. So that's basically my rundown on that. Why did you start YouTube? I mean, when did I start YouTube? Like in 2010 or something like that. Maybe not. It was like, well, I started properly in like 2017. But I was making videos way before that, like 2014, I think may have been my first video on the channel that you can see. Why did I start it? It was cool. YouTube came about and I started watching creators and I was like, yeah, I'll have a go on this. So I started making some shitty webcam videos and just doing shit like that. And it just kind of moved from there. People were like, you play career mode and it's, you should start your channel again. Every time I'd stop, they'd be like, you should start again. And I was like, fuck it, let's give it a go. And it's a nice thing to pass some time. It's good to, get that done and you know, it's fun at the end of the day. It's what I find fun. You know, other people find fun. You know, teenagers, what do they find fun? You could ask one and they could go, oh, I really enjoy reading books, or I really enjoy binge watching shit on Netflix, or even though Netflix is really good, or I enjoy going on nights out and spending loads of money and getting absolutely pissed off my face and wake up in a stranger's bed. Or you might not wake up in a stranger's bed, you might wake up in your own bed. Some people would say, I love smoking weed, and I sit there and say, you know what, I quite enjoy sitting here, talking shit to the camera, slap a bit of gameplay on it, boom, you got yourself a video. That's why I started YouTube, because why the hell not? Someone said, Xbox One or PS4, which do you have, and which do you think is the best company? What the, okay, so here we go. There's a reason why I play Xbox One. Mainly because, you know what, I used to be a huge PS player, right? My first console ever was the PS2. Then I went to PS3, then I obviously had the Wii and all the Nintendo stuff, and that was popular. Not so popular anymore. Mainly now it's PC, the main popular. But back when console was good, you know, I was always a PS3 player. Then back in around 2000 and maybe 10, 11, I got the Xbox 360, and, you know, I used to play on both. PS3 and Xbox 360. Then when the next gen of consoles came out, I was very close to getting a PS4. It was the cheaper console, but then I thought, you know what, I played Xbox for a long time, I'm going to get the Xbox One. Would I go ahead and buy a PS4 now? Literally for just the few gameplay exclusives that you can get? Probably not. You know, I'll be sticking to Xbox and I'll be sticking to PC gaming. Which do I think the best company is? Whatever I say is going to offend someone. You know, I like Microsoft. You know, I like what they do with computers. And I like what they do with the Xbox. Yes, the Xbox might be the worst or the second best console to the PlayStation. But, you know, the PC is the superior race, and the fact that you can link, you can link your Xbox and your PC together, that is appealing to me. And, I'm sure there's things that the PS4 has that the Xbox doesn't have, and there's things that the Xbox has that the PS4 doesn't. But at the end of the day, you know, they're two massive companies. I'll say I prefer Microsoft, but, you know, that's nothing against Sony. All I know is that they make crappy phones, and Microsoft, they made crappy phones as well. The Lumia wasn't very good, and Sony phones aren't the best either. So, they're both great companies. I prefer Microsoft. I'll put that out there right now. Whether I've offended you or not, you know, whether you're a PS4 lad, a PC lad, an Xbox lad, we all play games and we all get on. Someone said, and we're on to the last two now. Oh, actually, no, we didn't. We got three more. You said you made a big fuss over that player slipping. It was clearly a failed slide tackle, mate. That was like 6 days ago. So there was basically a time where I had Bozagli, I was controlling him, he fell over. I didn't press the slide tackle button. I pressed the A button to just, jockey the player automatically, and Bozagli fell over, and I made a bit of a fuss about it. Yes, I played it up a little bit to the camera, but who doesn't? And finally, the final question, how am I? Oh, it says, how are you? I'm pretty good, I'm doing good. Looking forward to 2 weeks' time. But, I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm not going to make use of my final 2 weeks at home. It'll definitely make a fresh, it'll be different. After spending that amount of time at home. But, where you can judge me for that all you want, you can judge me for it. I don't mind, you're more than entitled to do that. But, I'm pretty good. Hopefully you guys are all pretty good as well. But that is where we are going to end this Q&A, guys. Don't know how long it is. Apologies if it is a long one, but I haven't done a Q&A in a long time. I wanted to make sure all the questions are done. Hopefully you've learned a little bit more about me in this Q&A as well. So, going to keep the outro sweet and short. That is going to be it for this one then, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, turn notifications on. If you enjoyed the video, remember to drop a like on it. And, that's going to be it for this one. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay happy. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.